Oh, you think you know everything about the boy who lived?
Yeah, a bit.
Well, there's more to Harry Potter than what you saw on screen.
Really?
Over the course of 8 movies, the filmmakers needed to make some painful decisions in order to bring your favorite movies about the wizarding world from the page to the screen. Join ScreenRant as we give you 15 of the most magical deleted scenes that just might change all the things you think you know about the alumni of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Begin.
How many of you wish that you could know exactly what your friends, acquaintances, fellow students, or coworkers think of you at any given time? While Harry has an invisibility cloak at his disposal, allowing him to snoop on whoever he wants at Hogwarts at all hours of the night, he's also lucky enough to have an honest group of best friends. Ron and Hermione have his best interests at heart, and it's no surprise that they're brutally truthful with Harry, even during their second year of schooling together. In the Chamber of Secrets, when Harry learns that he can talk to snakes, Harry begins to doubt who he is. After all, being a Parseltongue isn't exactly something witches and wizards fawn over, and Ron and Hermione fuel his speculation by agreeing that he just might be the heir to Slytherin. Hermione goes on to say, "For all we know, you could be." In an extension to this deleted exchange, Harry, sitting alone outside Hogwarts, asks his owl,
"Who am I, Hedwig?"
This deleted scene shows us firsthand that Harry has his own doubts about his background, and it feeds into the major mystery driving the plot. If Harry doesn't even know who he truly is, then perhaps the audience thinks Harry might be the one who's opening the Chamber of Secrets. When the 5th book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, was released, much of the hubbub among the fans came from the fact that Sirius Black, a fan-favorite character, met his untimely end. Actor Gary Oldman's portrayal made Sirius Black even more of a sympathetic and tragic character in the films. But much of the film series audience was left disappointed by the ending of the Order of the Phoenix movie. This stems from the fact that in the filmmakers' rush to reach the ending, we, the audience, weren't given much time to grieve Sirius Black's final moments on screen. While his disappearance beyond the veil in the Ministry of Magic fueled speculation over what actually happened to Black, this deleted scene might have helped some fans cope with the loss of this iconic character. This moment, removed from the end of the 5th film, sees Harry packing his belongings at the close of the school year. Ron enters and asks Harry to join him at the end of the year feast, but Harry isn't in the mood. Ron confides that he's not feeling hungry either, but takes the hint and leaves Harry alone. Downstairs, Ron sees Hermione and shakes his head. While we're given many scenes that solidify the main trio's relationship, this moment would have helped to better illustrate the impact of Sirius Black's demise on the 3 main characters before the end credits rolled. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a road movie. While a good-sized portion of the fanbase might prefer the climactic battles of Deathly Hallows Part 2, the first installment shows the last leg of our lead character's journey before their final confrontation with Voldemort. There's a lot of time for personal growth, a lot of small character-building conversations, and, well, a lot of running. The movie is big on setting a generally brooding mood, but it doesn't allow much time to show our characters having fun. The thing is, though, they're still teenagers, and they're not all gloom and doom. If anything, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are still driven by hope. So it makes sense for them to have a bit of fun during their downtime. Unfortunately, one sequence showing Harry and Ron horsing around was removed from the finished film. When Harry and Ron spot a rabbit, they attempt to capture it. Eventually, they playfully turn their wands on each other, and it's all fun and games, up until Ron nearly gives Harry a bad wound by accident. This moment seems to remind the characters of the danger they're in, and they quickly return to their somber state of mind. The great thing about the Harry Potter series is that in spite of all of the ethereal magic and otherworldly events that occur throughout the books and movies, we're constantly reminded of the character's humanity. And there's nothing more human than a person's ability to evolve over time. One character who may not get enough credit for the changes they undergo throughout the story is Draco Malfoy. The boy, introduced as the bully we all love to hate, is ultimately revealed to be the weak-hearted guy who's being pressured by the expectations of his powerful and ill-intentioned family. When he finally starts to turn against his family and their support of Voldemort toward the end of the series, it's a small victory among all the chaos of the Battle of Hogwarts. One deleted moment would have added to this dynamic. When Harry is facing off against Voldemort Voldemort in their final duel, the boy who lived has just been resurrected and challenges the leader of the Death Eaters to one last face-off. In this sequence, Draco, who's seemingly inspired by his former rival's survival, throws Harry his wand. It's a nice touch and makes the finale of the series that much more satisfying. When The Prisoner of Azkaban was released, many fans were shocked by the visual style and darker tone of this film, especially when compared to the two previous installments. With the first two films directed by Chris Columbus, whose experience making kid-centric movies contributed to his wide family appeal, the third installment was directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who created a moody world perfect for the changing times and raging hormones of Harry Potter's third school year. Many followers of the franchise were thrown off by the style shift and complained that this film was less true to the books than the first two movies. While Alfonso Cuarón did take some liberties, he managed to fit most of the book's big moments into the finished film. One bit that was left on the cutting room floor, however, involved the sneakoscope. The device that Ron gifted to Harry activates when anybody with nefarious or untrustworthy intent is lurking around. It turns on when Harry is around his pals, and our hero believes it's broken. Yet, the sneakoscope is later proven to be fully functional when it's revealed that Ron's pet rat, Scabbers, has been the traitor Peter Pettigrew this whole time. Another moment cut from Prisoner of Azkaban proves how close director Alfonso Cuarón tried to stick to the books. In the movie, we see the painting of the Fat Lady, whose portrait blocks the entrance to the Gryffindor dormitory, but we don't get to see the painted blundering knight known as Sir Cadogan. Due to her increased prominence in the third book's plot, Cuarón recast the role of the Fat Lady, with famed British actress and comedian Dawn French taking on the role. The Fat Lady gets her own scene in which she reacts to an attack by Sirius Black, where he slashed up her painting when she wouldn't let him in. But the scene that featured Sir Cadogan, who took her place as guard of the entrance to the Gryffindor common room, was cut. This sequence also revealed that Sirius Black eventually was able to enter the common room by finding a piece of paper with the password that was misplaced by Neville Longbottom. Poor Neville. Screwing things up again. The structure of each of the Harry Potter stories often follows that of a mystery. The characters are given a series of fantastical clues that leads them to create a list of suspects. While the audience is allowed to come to their own conclusions, the characters often pursue their primary suspect until someone totally unexpected is revealed to them. In The Goblet of Fire, however, we were originally going to be treated to a scene in which the lead trio talked through their suspicions and pieced it all together before our eyes. In Goblet of Fire, this particular scene works well because it shows how Harry, Ron, and Hermione have developed through the course of their adventures over the past several years. It also shows how disillusioned they've become with the authority figures in their lives. Ron believes Cornelius Fudge and the rest of the Ministry of Magic will cover up the negative events surrounding the Triwizard Tournament. Hermione goes on to theorize that the pain around Harry's scar, among other things, point to bigger things at play. We as the audience may think these facts are pretty obvious, but it's a big deal to hear these characters coming to these conclusions themselves. Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy-Warty, Hogwarts, teach us something, please. I'm not paid enough to do this, guys. Nope, that's not the latest hit song by the Weird Sisters. That is the official Hogwarts school anthem. According to Harry Potter experts, the last time that song graced the Great Hall was during the Great Feast at the start of Harry's first year. Yes, J.K. Rowling included this catchy little ditty in the very first book, but it wasn't committed to film until the fourth movie, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Dumbledore conducted while sing-along font appeared above the teacher's dais. Some of the students sang with more gusto than others, and while it's a lot of fun to watch in the special features in the Goblet of Fire DVD, it did not make it into the final version of the film. Perhaps the filmmakers thought that there were already too many musical moments, with Durmstrang and Beauxbaton each getting their own entrance music and the school dance occurring later in the movie. Still, it would have been nice for audiences in the theaters to be treated to this song as extra credit for all the hours we spent at Hogwarts ourselves. Another deleted scene that would have made things more interesting had they kept it in the movie is the moment revolving around the explanation of the taboo in Deathly Hallows Part 1. In the wizarding world, a taboo is an enchantment in which a word, when spoken, allows a magical person to zero in and keep tabs on whoever's spoken this chosen word. At the beginning of the franchise, J.K. Rowling made it clear that the vast majority of people feared saying Voldemort's name.
Voldemort.
They referred to the villain as you-know-who or he who must not be named. Since anybody who actually used Voldemort's name was probably a member of the Order of the Phoenix, the Death Eaters were able to find their enemies when these enemies uttered the word Voldemort. That's how in Deathly Hallows Part 1, the Snatchers were able to find Harry, Ron, and Hermione in the woods. A scene in the movie explained this fact, but it was likely cut for time since the filmmakers expected that book readers already knew this.
That's how they track people now.
How do you know that?
Overheard some bloke at the ministry talking about it.
They also probably figured that most fans who just watched the movies were probably already too swept up in the seventh movie's story to really care about the details. Still, this scene would have helped fill in the blanks for uninitiated viewers. Ah, those heady days of 2001 when the first Harry Potter film was released. At that time, fresh-faced fans likely had no idea Voldemort would return in the flesh as the main villain of the series. Back then, the biggest twist was that Professor Quirrell was the main villain of the series. Even book readers who were well aware of what happened to their favorite characters up through Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which was published in 2000, had no idea Grindelwald would play such a big part in the later installments and movies of the franchise. To them, he was just a throwaway reference mentioned as part of Dumbledore's bio on his chocolate frog card. The card read, "Considered by many the greatest wizard of modern times, Dumbledore is particularly famous for his defeat of the dark wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for the discovery of the 12 uses of dragon's blood, and his work on alchemy with his partner, Nicholas Flamel." To have such a seemingly small detail become such a big part of the series is a testament to J.K. Rowling's storytelling, so it's a shame that the moment when Ron reads this card aloud was cut from the first film. One of the key scenes in the series involves Harry and Dumbledore and the Half-Blood Prince when the student and mentor visit the seaside cave to obtain one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. In one deleted scene, Dumbledore cryptically explains what Tom Riddle had previously done inside this cave, hinting at why this spot might have been important to the boy who became Voldemort. In another cave, Harry assists Dumbledore out, helping the old man walk. The effort to obtain the Horcrux really took its toll on the aged wizard, and Harry assures him everything will be alright as they hobble away. Dumbledore responds,
"I'm not worried, Harry. I'm with you."
It's a nice moment because it continues to solidify the relationship between these two characters and demonstrates how Dumbledore never really loses his confidence and trust in Harry's abilities. Harry Potter's parents, Lily and James, appear sporadically throughout the series, mostly in flashbacks to their final night at Godric's Hollow and in pictures that Harry gazes at wistfully. While the series' later books and movies give us more details about the doomed couple, there was a deleted scene from Deathly Hallows Part 1 in which a letter from Lily Potter figured prominently. The letter is addressed to Sirius, and Harry discovers it in Sirius's old bedroom at number 12 Grimmauld Place. In the letter, Lily thanks Sirius for a birthday present he sent to baby Harry. She also starts to divulge some gossip about Dumbledore, saying, "By the way, Bathilda tells the most amazing stories about our old headmaster. I don't know how much to believe. Can it really be true that Dumbledore..." And then the text continues on a second page, which Harry can't seem to find. That unfinished bit of information piques our interest and helps to feed the Dumbledore rumors about which we learn more in the next film. Remus asks Harry to be Teddy's godfather in Deathly Hallows Part 1. This would have helped to make Remus and Tonks' demises more meaningful in Deathly Hallows Part 2. Obviously, we care deeply about these characters, especially Remus Lupin, who has had a great deal of screen time up until this point. But their ultimate fate in the finished version of Deathly Hallows Part 2 almost seems like an afterthought. Sure, we get the sad but beautiful moment of Harry spotting the two of them lying motionless during a lull in the battle, their hands reaching towards each other as an expression of the love they shared. Yet the film series had spent so little time with them in the later installments of the franchise. Therefore, it would have been great if the creative team had left in more conversations between Lupin and Potter, where Harry's former professor and family friend formally asks Harry to be his son's godfather. While we never really would have gotten to spend time with the character of Teddy, this moment would have better illustrated how life goes on for these characters even in the time of crisis. In the lead up to the Battle of Hogwarts, we were originally going to learn more about Dumbledore's brother Aberforth. While the book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, provides us with more info regarding Dumbledore's less renowned kin, the filmmakers decided to streamline the exchange between the trio and Aberforth in order to get our heroes back to Hogwarts as soon as possible. It works to keep the momentum up, but it sacrifices the ability for non-reading viewers to fully understand what's going on with Aberforth, how he's getting them to Hogwarts, and why he's helping them. In the world world of Harry Potter, anything can be explained away by magic, and it's always more interesting to keep things mysterious. But every once in a while, it's nice to spoil the audience with a bit of character development, which is why it's a shame they deleted this exchange between the trio and Aberforth. When Harry explains how he's trying to fulfill Dumbledore's wishes, Aberforth warns him that Dumbledore's wishes usually end up destroying whoever the old wizard was close to. This is a nice nod to Aberforth's own relationship with Albus and their sister Ariana, and we wish they could have kept it in. Throughout the series, the Dursleys have been nothing but horrible to Harry. But they have appeared at the beginning of every single one of Harry's school years. And since they've been such an essential, if small, part of Harry Potter's story, it was a shame their appearance at the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 1 was reduced to a tiny cameo. Deleted scenes expanded on exchanges between Harry and his Aunt Petunia, as well as Harry and his cousin Dudley. In the first moment, Petunia stands alone in an empty room, ruminating on leaving her home of 20 years. She then goes on to say,
"You didn't just lose a mother that night in Godric's Hollow, you know. I lost a sister."
What's interesting about this moment is that it's not entirely clear whether Petunia is using this moment to try connecting with Harry in ways she's never fully able to, or if she's simply trying to get in one last dig at the boy before leaving him for good. Outside the house, Dudley approaches Harry for a different exchange. Defying Uncle Vernon's wishes to leave immediately, Dudley confides in Harry that he doesn't think Potter is a waste of space. It shows J.K. Rowling's and the filmmakers' belief that even the most pig-headed and hard-nosed people can change and evolve over time.
See you, Big D.
After 7 years of Hogwarts and 8 Harry Potter movies, these 15 deleted scenes just scratch the surface of all the footage cut from the finished films. So let us know if there are any other deleted scenes that you wish were kept in the films. Add your thoughts in the comments section below and subscribe to ScreenRant for more videos like this one. See you next time!